Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to be looking at something incredibly massive yet entirely hidden from plain sight. It's the invisible nerve center of global finance. It's actually running right now, silently and relentlessly, just under the surface of literally everything you buy, sell, and consume. We're going to explore the hidden wiring of our modern world together, and honestly, what we find might just change the way you look at a dollar bill forever.
But before we look at how it all actually works, I want you to imagine this completely terrifying scenario. What if the money just stopped? And I don't mean your personal debit card gets declined because you bought, one too many iced coffees this week. I mean all of it, everywhere. At exactly 9 a.m. on a Monday morning, the entire global transaction network completely and utterly halts. Nobody can send a dime, nobody can receive a penny. Okay, let's dive into this. Picture it. It's 9 a.m. Monday, and the networks go completely dark. Within minutes, the United States economy experiences this sudden, completely unexplained freeze. Trillions of dollars are instantly suspended in a digital void. Wall Street traders are just staring blankly at frozen screens. Main Street businesses literally can't process a simple credit card swipe. Why? How could an economic superpower just turn off like a light switch? Well, to understand the sheer absolute chaos of this blackout, we have to look at what money actually is in the modern age.
Section 1. The day wires stopped. The illusion of money.
Thanks to Hollywood, we have this really vivid myth of international trade, right? We picture suitcases stuffed with physical cash moving across borders in heavily armed trucks, or massive cargo ships loaded with pallets of gold bullion. But the reality, it is literally just a standardized text message updating two digital ledgers. That's the whole shebang. When the US imports millions of dollars in electronics or exports tons of agricultural goods, no physical currency ever gets put on a boat. A digital message is simply sent from one computer to another, basically just changing the numbers on a screen.
Section 2. Money is just messages, invisible networks.
So enter the SWIFT system. You can think of it as a highly encrypted WhatsApp just for banks. It's basically where giant financial institutions text each other saying, "You up? Also, please transfer $2 billion to Tokyo." It is a messaging system. And listen to this closely. SWIFT holds absolutely zero money. None. It doesn't have a vault, it doesn't hold accounts, it is just an ultra-secure group chat for the financial world to coordinate their ledgers.
But consider the staggering scale of that group chat. Trillions. We are talking about trillions of dollars in United States trade and global commerce that rely exclusively on these daily digital messages. To put that into perspective, we're talking about an entire ocean of wealth moving around the globe every single day. If those messages don't go through, those trillions of dollars effectively do not exist. Which brings us to a kind of mind-bending psychological pivot. SWIFT holds $0. It only holds trust. If no physical money is actually moving, if it's all just encrypted text messages bouncing between servers, then the entire US economy, your retirement savings, your company's payroll, it's all relying completely on a fragile, invisible system of collective belief. Money is no longer a physical object anymore, it's a psychological phenomenon.
Section 3. The psychology of trust, operational mechanics.
Let's move to and see how this builds in a real-world scenario. Here is the anatomy of a trade. Step 1. A massive US auto manufacturer in Detroit desperately needs foreign parts to finish building their cars. Step 2. The local US bank sends a secure SWIFT message over to the foreign supplier's bank. Step 3. A correspondent bank in the middle steps in and verifies the code. And Step 4. The foreign seller ships millions of dollars in car parts based purely on their absolute belief in that text message. They haven't seen a single ounce of physical gold or cash. They just trust the message.
So, why do they trust a text message enough to ship millions in goods? Well, it relies on four key pillars of digital trust. First, a shared, standardized language. Every single bank in the SWIFT network speaks the exact same highly structured code. Second, unbreakable cryptographic security. They know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that the message wasn't tampered with by a hacker somewhere in between. Third, pre-established mutual bank agreements. These banks have heavily vetted each other beforehand. And finally, absolute psychological certainty. These pillars are the true bedrock of the US economy. Think about it. If the supplier in Asia suddenly doubts any of these pillars, they stop the shipment, the auto manufacturer in Detroit gets no parts, the assembly line grinds to a halt, and the workers go home unpaid.
Section 4. The trillion-dollar nightmare, system collapse.
Now let's trace the timeline of a complete SWIFT collapse.
Day 1. Total confusion. Accounts freeze. You go out to buy groceries. Your card gets declined. Local businesses can't make payroll because their bank literally can't confirm funds with the central hub. Day 3. U.S. supply chains violently halt. Factories are just sitting idle, waiting for materials that are stuck at international ports because the payment messages vanished into thin air. Supermarket shelves start looking bare. Day 7. Complete psychological panic. We witness the systemic collapse of financial trust itself, because it's not just that the physical money is gone, it's that the belief that the money exists is entirely shattered.
So the crucial point is this: the messenger vanishes, the economy stops. Period. Without this invisible nerve center of communication, physical U.S. commerce simply cannot function. The delivery trucks don't drive, the massive cargo ships don't sail, and the electricity grid doesn't get its fuel. Our entire tangible, physical world relies completely on a continuous stream of invisible text messages.
Which leaves us here. If our entire global economy is really just built on a psychological system of encrypted text messages, what actually happens when we can no longer trust the messenger? It is a pretty terrifying thought. So the next time you confidently swipe your credit card or see a massive cargo ship pulling into a port, just remember the fragile, invisible group chat making the whole thing possible. Thanks for watching this explainer. I'll see you guys in the next one.